I'm Dylan Dollar.
I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top.
And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
What is up, folks? I know it has been a while, but we are back for whatever episode this is of Out the Top. I know you guys have missed us. We have been gone for almost 2 whole months now, but we are back, and joining us once again, as always, Mr. Dan Carter. What is up, my friend?
What's happening?
Man, technical difficulties.
Smidge, just a smidge.
Dude, it's so bad. So we took off after our last episode and knew we were going to have a pretty good break going into the next race. And if you guys follow us, you know we really focus on the National Rock Racing Association and their stuff. There's so much going on with personal lives and whatnot. I would love to be able to follow all the series. We just don't have the physical time.
Right.
So we took that opportunity to have a little break. During said break, we had some tornadoes up here in Kentucky. That took out my internet here at our home. Took out internet for a couple weeks. Finally was able to get that back. And then struggled with the new system, getting it up and going. Finally got it up and going. And then none of this stuff would work.
Right.
So while we weren't in an urgent situation, like it wasn't, we wasn't spending days trying to fix it or nothing, but that delayed. We had plans on doing a couple shows, in between. That delayed quite a bit of that, but nevertheless, we are back. Like to welcome everybody that is watching on YouTube. I see we've already got some people in the chat. Also, we are currently live on Facebook as well, but for some reason, Facebook is not letting it go public. So that'll be posted later. But if you're in the chat, I see Pat's already in here. Pat, glad you could join us. I was curious if we would see you tonight since we didn't put out any notice that we were going to be on to anybody. We just kind of surprise, here we are kind of deal. But other than that, what's been going on, Dan?
Man, just slaving away, working, trying to get some money stuck back. Got race seasons fixing to come back around. We've been enjoying our little break, but man, I've been trying to make some money so we can spend some money.
Yeah, so you won't be at West Virginia, but you'll be running most of the races in the back half of the season,
right?
When we kick back up for but Pretty Place will be the next race after this weekend.
That's it.
So we do have a race this weekend though in West Virginia, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's hit some of the topics that have been going on since we last seen everybody back at the 1st of May. So right after that, there was some discussion made online about some people were talking about entry fees, things of that nature, and And this is the racers. And I seen some comments saying that they thought all, and I don't remember who it was. They thought all the racers' families should get in for each of these events and yada yada yada. We know that's not sustainable. That cannot happen. Anybody who thinks that can happen is woo. But in your perfect world, you're a driver. You were doing this way before me and you got hooked up. What is the perfect, or what do you think is the perfect entry fee payout kind of system? What would you like to see done? I think we're pretty fortunate that we do have. I'll preface all that with saying I think we're pretty fortunate that our two main classes do have guaranteed payouts.
Right.
That is, well, I'm not going to get into the money of it, but it's guaranteed the same pay every race.
Right.
The rest of the classes are entry fee classes. But you got to understand that those classes were all built knowing that that's what they were going to be.
Right.
So, what do you think? Most places we go, you pay your entry fee, you get your driver +1 and free parking. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Do you think there should be something different?
To me, man, I don't know. Like, I look at it in so many different ways. I'm always trying to see the good in each situation, because in one end of the spectrum, you've got some race series that's, and it's nothing like I'm not even going to say race series. You have some races, damn, I can't even say races.
Sure,
have some races that want to promote the drivers, and they're like, hey, we just need somebody to come put on a show. We're not going to charge the drivers anything. So, we're going to do $1,000 payout. All these drivers show up, fight over this $1,000. Okay, so you've got that end of the spectrum. And then you've got the far end of the spectrum with somebody like Tony Ramos doing the mud racing stuff. He makes his guys go into these parks and they buy a ticket just like everybody else. And his thoughts on that, and this has been a while since we've talked to Tony, but he kind of went through that in that episode of how it shows the parks that, hey, I brought these drivers in, and these drivers spent $10,000 to get in the gate, over the course of their families, them, their teams, the crews, the whole 9 yards. So it really depends how you look at it and what you want in the backside of it. Ideally, like everybody would love to race for free, but we spend a lot of money getting to these events. It's not unlikely to spend $1,000 to get to an event and pay race fees, stuff like that. So you want a little bit of a kickback, and that's one reason that we focus on Clyde stuff, is because we feel like we get the coverage that we deserve when we race with somebody like that. You've got the live feed, you've got all these perks that people don't look at. And it's like, if you're going to race the whole season, then sign up as a season driver. If you're going to race 5 races out of the 10, maybe just pick and choose. Don't sign up as a full season driver, but look at the benefits that you get as a full season driver. Even if you're going to race 2 or 3 races, they're going to talk about you every race on that live stream, because either you're going to be there or you're supposed to be there. So, man, I don't know. That's a really good question, but who wouldn't love to race for free? But then again, you kind of also get what you pay for.
Yeah. So my thoughts on that are kind of, if entry fees go up And listen, I'm a firm believer you got to have entry fees. You got to have them. I don't think the no entry fee. But one, you'd never know who was going to show up.
Right.
You would never know who was going to be there from week to week. You how to set your schedule. And the way we do it now, you kind of have a pretty good idea of, minus plus or minus 2 or 3 or 4. You have a pretty good idea who's going to show up.
Right.
If you do no entry fees, then you never know who's going to be there. And, you get some wishy washy people that maybe might show up, might not show up. But I think you got to have entry fees.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think with the entry fees, as they go up, payouts need to go up, and that doesn't necessarily mean that. To me, that doesn't necessarily mean the winner makes more. I think grow the payout down would be even better than giving the winner more money.
Right.
Throw a little on the back end, some, back dirt racing. If you made the feature, you got your tow money. If you
Right.
finish last. I would like to see, and listen, I understand the business of it. I would like to see some of these other classes get some sort of guaranteed payout. And so they are payback classes.
Right.
But one way you could structure this is to do a guaranteed payout. And this is the way we used to do this dirt racing as well. You could do a guaranteed payout per car count.
Yeah.
That way you knew, and you do know, actually, you do know what, or you should know what you're getting paid. But you could do it per car count. You could do it like every 5. Like if we got 5 cars show up, this is what you're getting paid. If you got 10
Right.
show up, this is what you're getting paid. It's really not going to change anything as far as what you're actually getting paid, but you'll just know instead of having to guess. As far as free entry goes for drivers and families, I get it's expensive. I really do. I really get it's expensive, and I understand that the drivers are the ones that put on the shows. They're the ones that spend the money to put the show on. However, you go anywhere in the country to any race. You buy your pit passes, you get in. I mean, it's just it has to be done. The plus one 90% of the time, that was designed to so you could bring at least one pit member in with you.
Right.
Per entry. I think a lot of times that's not even the case with that. Is not the way it gets used. It's just, somebody to come watch the racing or whatever. But I'm fine with the plus one. If you want to do a plus 2, I'm even okay with that. I think, but past that, drivers are going to have to pay. Teams are going to have to pay. It's no different because listen, some of these races we go to, especially like in these summer months, right? Like, and we'll talk about this too. These summer races, spectators are at a minimum.
Right.
They're not like our spring and our fall events. They're just not. It's too hot. There's too much other stuff going on. It's really hard to draw a crowd in late June and early July. So most of your spectators are going to be people who come
Right.
to participate in some form or fashion. So you got to get some recoup.
Yeah.
I mean, it just has to happen. And like you said, like with the way Tony does that, and this is not just for racing. I think in life in general, I'm getting more this way. It used to be, um, you had buddies, friends. Hey, come over here and help me do this or whatever. And they'd come help you. But I'm getting more along the lines of, if I need you to do something for me, let me pay you to do that.
Right.
And then when you need me, you pay me.
Right.
That way nobody feels like they owe anybody anything.
Right.
Like it's a stuff like that needs to be, and I hate that it has to be that way, but I feel like transactional is probably better 90% of the time, because there's always that one friend in the friend group that's hey, come help do this, do this, do this. And then, when you call them, oh man, I'm busy. I can't make it. So I think a lot of that needs to be transactional. I think if we start letting people just kind of come and go, and you'll actually lose more people than you'll gain. And I've also always been a firm believer of the crowds. While there is an amount, and I think this is something that'll have to be addressed at some point too. The entries to get into some of these events are getting more steep. Not just entry fees for the competitors, but like gate entry fees for spectators. I think that $40 mark for the weekend is a pretty good threshold. Once you peak that, I mean, you're really getting into people's pockets.
Right.
So like that's a conversation I think that needs to be had more so of free, not free. We need to get ticket prices back in order, because it wasn't that long ago that it was $20-$25 to get into some of these races. And now sometimes you're seeing, 60, 70, 80, $90. And I get it. You go to like Rush, right? You go to Rush Anniversary Bash, you got a ride, you're getting a riding pass for the whole weekend. You're getting free camping for the whole weekend. You're getting to watch racing. So the value is there, but you're also cutting out the people who just want to come watch the racing. And so I understand it. I understand all angles of it. But I think free's bad. I don't know. That's just me.
Man, you can't say Rush like right now. It's still too soon for the milkmaid at Rush.
She got banned.
Man, really?
She got kicked out. She got kicked out.
Poor,
y'all need to check that video out.
Poor girl.
So right after, actually, I think it was filmed at Rush.
Mm-hmm.
National Rock Racing Association put out a TikTok reel, whatever. It was Tripp and some of the guys from Off Road Performance, and they put out a challenge to Cletus McFarland, to come drive one of the bouncers. Do you think that materializes?
Man, I feel like he's got bigger fish to fry.
You think?
But that would be cool.
I mean, I do think he has some pretty big fish to fry, but he did see it. He did see the video. He did comment on the video.
Yeah.
And
as long as we're all at the same fish fry, then, I think if we could find a car that he could fit his tall ass in, I think we could probably get him on the hook.
Rumor is that it's happening. Probably not this race, but in the next couple.
That'd be cool.
If that happens, and I mean, Cletus has drove everything from boats to drag cars. He's running NASCAR. He's rumored to be. So Dodge is coming back into NASCAR in the Truck Series, and he's rumored to be Dodge's flagship, like their golden boy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's rumored to be their guy, and he's going to start that program with them. So like he's driven anything that can be driven, except for something like this.
Right.
It is a little extreme. So I don't know. I don't know if I would just buckle in one and just go. I mean, could you imagine the first time you're driving a 1,000 horsepower rock bouncer to be staring at that wall at Hawk Pride?
Oh man, yeah. Like that, it would be interesting to watch. But I saw a video a few weeks back, and he was in one of the boats. Like
Yep.
I don't know what this is called, but it's basically like a moat that they have like dug out in this field, and I mean it's like a pond with a bunch of little islands in it, and you're supposed to go around like figure eight, like all kind of different shit. And dude, he was like whipping up on it.
So I used to watch that. That used to be really popular, or I feel like it was really popular. Maybe it's because it was the only channel my dad would let me watch. I remember watching that a lot when I was young.
Yeah,
You would watch that on like TNN or one of those obscure little channels on Saturday afternoon or something. But that stuff is. I couldn't remember the course. You think remembering our courses is hard?
right.
Could you imagine?
Dude, it'd be insane.
There's no way. I'd be so dead. Trying to do that. So Cletus may be happening.
That'll be cool.
It'll be. Listen, we have production. We're on Speed Sport, I suppose. Whatever Cletus does, if he shows up and if he does this, whatever he does will be the biggest coverage we've ever had.
So you think it'll be Pretty Place, or you think it'll be Hawk Pride? Because dude, it's gonna be hot either way.
It'll be hot either way, but I don't know. It could be. The rumor I'm hearing is Hawk Pride.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think everybody needs to at least show up in hopes that he'll be there.
Well, he's not much for secrets, so I'm sure there'll be some. If it does get sealed up and done, you'll see some stuff about that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's plenty of places to land a helicopter out there. So I mean, all he's got to do is just whip it on out in the parking lot and just get out and run with us, and then get back in the chopper and go.
It'd be cool. We tried to get Travis Pastrana or somebody from Nitro Circus at one time.
Yeah,
I put out some feelers with Hubert Roland, and this is actually before, probably before you drove the buggy at Race to Riches.
yeah.
I had been talking to Hubert for 6 months, and I was like, "Hey, I would like to let's get somebody from Nitro Circus in the buggy." And there was some talks, and me and him discussed it, and it just didn't work out, but more so for legality reasons.
Right.
They were wanting insurance and waivers, and I was like, no, I just somebody get in it and drive it. But they were treating it more like a NASCAR contract or something. And I was like, guys, we're not that serious. It's not this.
Yeah.
It's not this real. So we've tried to get some bigger names to dabble. So we'll see what happens. What else? Oh, we did have. This is kind of big news. For whatever reason, and I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate why. Ethan Hunt has stepped away from racing. So Ethan drove what was it stand back?
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, he drove stand back and he drove a Razor chassis. And the last race, he actually drove the people off road performance people he was driving for acquired Gold Rush
Yeah.
from Dan Bowman. And the last race he actually run Gold Rush and done really, really well. And for whatever reason, he is stepping away from racing. Clay Kaysen has been driving his UTV buggy in some one-off events. Word on the street is Wade Good is making a return to the UTV series to finish up the season in that UTV. I don't know who's going to be in Gold Rush, if anybody. Not real sure how that's going to work out. We'll find more out about that this weekend, I'm sure.
Could be you.
It could not be me. No, sir. Not happening. Also, other news grumblings I keep hearing is that, of course, we all know Brandon Davis got this new Ultra 4 UFO car.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Rumor is Menace has been sold. Don't know the details on that transaction, if he's going to continue running it the rest of the year, finish the season out, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, these are rumors. But I'm not sure. Well, I've heard names on who is supposedly acquiring that machine. Don't know what Brandon's plans are. Maybe trying to run the old UFO car in some rock racing stuff, or maybe just going straight Ultra 4, because he has been been trying to run some of that.
I mean, we've seen in the past, God, was it Derek?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
So he run his Ultra 4 rig with SRS and National Rock. Did fairly well. So, I mean, I think, there's room on the podium for an Ultra 4 car in our sport.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple times Paul has come and played and done pretty well. Paul Wolf.
Right.
I think I don't see any reason why that machine that he's got, the UFO car, couldn't be a dual purpose. But who knows? He's not been doing as much UTV racing. Only running the stock class now, I think. I don't think he's been running Cup. And only doing the bouncer on Saturday, and had a rough year. But was getting things on track. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see what the future is for that race program. What machines are going to show up. Outside of that, is any other national rock, like, specifically related?
Man, not specific, but I don't know if you've seen it. I thought it was pretty cool, and it's one of the guys that used to race with us, Cash LaCroix. Did you see where he won a Legends race?
Cash has moved from rock bouncing to Ultra 4 to short course racing, nitro cross, and now running Legends cars.
Yeah, just doing it all. I thought that was
winning.
pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that.
And
but
winning.
Man, other than that, I know we gave Cozine some shit last episode, maybe the episode before, and I saw where he got on the podium.
He did get on the outlaw podium, and they're still chasing that buggy. From what I've seen, I think they've changed torque converters 3-4 times.
Yeah, maybe he'll get to the bottom of that. It'd be good to see everybody in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'll be heading to West Virginia in the morning. Outlaw season is done. Our buddy Nick Rock got the win and the championship at the last race in Blue Holler. So stoked for him. And there will be, guys, there will be. Nick's done been on me. There will be more overdrive with Nick Rock. I'm telling you, this 2 months off has just been not good. So there will be more overdrive coming, and we will talk to Nick about that, and we'll try and do that either this weekend or the first of next week. I'm going to get with him, and we're going to get another episode of that deal done. But happy for Nick. Super good dude. Glad he finally got him a win and a championship, and hopefully he can carry that on to this weekend in West Virginia. I know that is such a long drive for him.
Mm.
I don't know how he does that. He says I think West Virginia is his farthest trip.
I wonder how long of a drive that is. That's got to be like a 18-hour drive. Oh yeah.
Are you there? Okay. We were getting some buffering over here on my end. Yeah, he said 16, 17 hours.
Yeah.
That's just unreal. Headed to West Virginia in the morning. I'm leaving here 6 o'clock. I've got to stop by the shop and get some parts for our buddy Matt Myrick over that busted knuckle that I was supposed to put in the truck this evening and did not. So I got to remember. I've got some alarms set on my phone to pick up Matt's parts and head to West Virginia. What? So I didn't even see the live show. I don't know what the car counts are. I have no idea. The only thing I do know is there's only 2 Bounty UTVs signed up, and understandably, that is one of the roughest Bounty hills that we run on.
Oh, for sure.
And I think, I was talking at the shop, we were talking about that, and I said, if there was legit only 2 people that ended up running, there would be a handshake done before the race. Let's run hill 1, balls to the wall.
Right.
Hill 2, let's do our attempt and put it on the trailer.
Oh yeah. Anytime you can load up under its own power is a win. So I would probably be up for that.
Well, that's what we were talking about with 2 people in Bounty Series, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier with payouts. 2 people with Bounty Series, what is it? $300 an entry. So it's 50, 30, 20, but if only 2 people entered, I don't even know how that would pay out, honestly. But you're looking at winning $300, $400 back on the chance of breaking a diff or a transmission or an engine trying to climb that hill. No, I would run the first run, and then I'd try and work something out where everybody rolled through the starting line. And I know that's the sissy way out, but dang. Now, if there's more than 2, go race your race, I guess.
Right.
So what I'm assuming that we're going to be running the same-ish courses. Haven't heard anything. I'm not special anymore. I don't get the course maps, so I don't know what the courses are going to be like, but I'm assuming it's going to be similar. So at West Virginia, you have a pretty good rock garden section, which I really like that area. And if there was a way to utilize that, like I know, like it's really not like exciting for outside spectators, but I really like that little area. And if there was more of that to use in a way to race that, I think that would be cool. But that's a little technical section. And really, I shouldn't say, really, all of it's technical.
Yeah. And like, even that, like the downhill has gotten worse over the last couple of years. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to, like, if you're going to be filming, that's where I would probably set up.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get some different stuff this year. Unless I get there and I'm just lazy and stand at the top of the hill, which is a very good possibility.
Hey, there's some action up there too.
There is. But I look forward to seeing everybody. It's been
Everybody.
I missed the last race, and then Rush was the last one. So it's been several weeks since I've got to see everybody other than Braden and Nathaniel. So we look forward to that. Racing starts tomorrow, probably 1:00 Saturday. They'll be kicking off about 9:45 a.m. on Rock Racing TV. No, Pat, this is not a new shirt. This is our vintage. This is our first pit shirt from
But OG.
from 21, 22, something like that. The morning session, really jump in for round 2. I'm curious to see how the year and the weather has treated that hill, and if they've done any doctoring to it, any work. There wasn't many successful attempts last year, and I don't suspect there will be many this year either.
You think they're going to open the pool up since it's going to be warm enough?
Dude, I forgot they had a pool.
Man, that could be the coolest park ever.
I
And
forgot they had a
it
pool.
seems like every time we go, they're just like, oh, yeah, we're not offering the cool shit to anybody.
I forgot they had a pool. Yes, they should open the pool. That is all we have been doing here.
Yeah.
Pool weather. Finally, pool weather. I don't know. I look forward to seeing everybody. Glad we're back. We will be back next week for a post-race show. Hopefully more prepared. And hopefully we'll get it just squared away for our guys on Facebook so we can get them joined in on the chat next week. As always, guys, I appreciate everybody for coming out, for listening, for liking, subscribing. I know we have been very, very, very vacant for the last couple months, and that's across the board. That's putting shorts out, putting full-length videos out, anything. Just kind of stepped back and had some me time, I guess. But we're back at it, and we'll be back more involved throughout the rest of the season. If you guys make it to West Virginia, I'll have some stickers with me. Come up, say hi, get you some out the top decals. And guys, appreciate everybody. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We will see you next week on Out the Top.
See ya.
Bye.